Remix.
Bachelor Nation, will you accept this rose? We love you. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. Podcast. It's a podcast. Podcast. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. It's a podcast. Featuring Andy, Sarah, and Glenn. Bachelor Pod, it's the Bachelor Pod, it's a podcast about the Bachelor.
Will you accept this podcast?
Ooh la la, Gay Perry, welcome to the Bachelor Pod, Le Bachelor Pod. We're coming at you live. We're going to Paris, where the ladies are horny for Paris, and Ari is horny for them, aren't they? Aren't him?
Aren't him
horny for him?
Horny, yes. Him horny.
Oh, wow. Once again, Bachelor Pod back in this.
Andy,
And-
Sarah, Glenn.
And we're countries apart this time.
Yeah, we're bi-coastal today. Sarah, we blew all our money on sending her as our official Bachelor Pod LA correspondent, because that's ground zero for not only major entertainment, but also The Bachelor, which is not entertainment, it's love. So,
Exactly,
Yeah,
it's
and-
real love.
Have I made connections? You know, I have made it in the past, one connection with Mr. Nick Vile. But do I ever make connections here? No, but we do spend the money every year to send me, and hopefully something will happen this year. So
yeah,
This is the year.
I mean, you just got there, so you got a lot of runway to work with here. So
Yeah.
we'll be checking in on a week-to-week basis. Now, obviously, every week we expect you to sort of make some headway. So next week we expect you to have at least reached out, I suppose. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the Bachelor falling in love thing. We're just, we'll take it step by step as well.
Andy and I didn't let you guys know that when we were coming back from Ottawa, or going to Ottawa, we saw Charlene Voigt, or whatever her name. Joint.
Yeah.
We saw her at the Ottawa airport,
Ooh.
and we didn't want to bug her because it was the holidays, and she seemed pretty chill. She was on our plane with us.
Mhm.
Actually, I just remembered. She was on our plane. We saw her.
It was Christmas
And she-
Day, too. It's like, what are you going to
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
we were like,
There.
we're not going to bug her on Christmas Day. Her eyebrows are gorgeous. Her eyebrows are some of the best sculpted eyebrows. They look like they were painted on her face, but not in like the bad way, but in like
Yeah.
how are those so good kind
By
of
an
way.
artiste, painted on
By an
by
artiste.
a modern artiste. She'll go down in history as one of my favorite people ever on
Oh,
this show.
And we
Easily.
barely watched that season.
Yeah, which one was that?
Was
That
that,
was-
that Juan Pablo?
Homophobe. It was Juan Pablo.
Oh, Juan
Oh,
Pablo.
yeah.
That's right.
I barely watched that, yeah.
Yeah, I watched all of Juan Pablo's season,
Oh,
and
that's
I
right.
don't regret it. I do not regret it. But,
No, I regret kind of not watching it because I just like to have as much Bachelor Nation knowledge as possible, and I think
Right.
that was a major season for
Yeah.
a lot of people that have stuck around.
It was,
we had
yeah.
Claire in that season, we had Charlene in that season, we had Andy in that season.
Yeah.
So,
Dwarf. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I mean, I like to. We say it a million times. We're Canada's #1 independent Bachelor podcast. We reflect what the fans think, and sometimes the fans skip out. So I think you skipping out on that actually makes us more likable as a podcast.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
That's
good
my
thing,
logic.
good thing we're
That's
not
my twisted
we're
logic.
nowhere near talking about Juan Pablo again, though. That's good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the context of this season, we are experts, and my expert opinion is this episode was banging.
Yeah.
I loved it. So much happened.
I traveled yesterday because I was coming here on a mission, right? So I don't really remember it, but we fully watched it. I just
Oh, yeah.
don't remember. I watched it the day I was packing to leave, so I was a bit of a tizzy.
Yeah, and
What happened?
we're doing the podcast a day late too.
Yes.
Apologies for that. We did that last week too. Just scheduling issues, but we guarantee every week we'll get it to you by Thursday end of day. Like
Oh, that's
5
great.
o'clock. If it's not there 5 o'clock Thursday, you know something's wrong, and
Yeah.
you hit up our Twitter feed, look for the emergency announcement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a good precedent.
I'd say call the police and put out a missing persons for all three of us.
Definitely
If you
call
don't
the
have
police,
it by the end of the day,
And
Speaking-
EOD 5 Eastern time.
Speaking of missing persons, we really should
Dude.
nail
we
down
never
this
talked about that.
big time news story that I guess did it happen like just too late for us to talk about last week or what?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, it was
just
the end of
after.
last week.
Yeah, because it
But
feels
did we
like it
get
was over
tons
a
of
week ago.
texts?
Well, we got tons of
We got
texts, tons of messages.
So many texts.
Everyone talking about, obviously, Becca M., the missing persons report filed on her by her own mother. Some conflicting stories, some conflicting versions of this story. I've heard several different versions of this story,
Same.
honestly. So let's, do we have the record straight here? Do we know exactly?
Well, the last I heard, it was simply a matter of her mom not calling, receiving word from her, but then the conflicting thing was either she was finishing shooting the show or she was working on a weed farm.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah.
Those were the two
I didn't
things
know that weed farm thing. That's huge.
Weed farm is in play.
So,
But
That's
yeah.
huge.
I don't know. The slews of Reddit, et cetera, were like, well, that would be around the time she was finishing up shooting. And I guess they don't get phones, obviously, so that would explain it. But that would also explain that she obviously doesn't have a close relationship with her mother if she had no clue she was on The Bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And or if it was like, I haven't heard from her, so I'm pussing out. Like, how does her mom not know she's on The Bachelor? Or if it was because she just wasn't answering her mom, like, were they in a fight and her mom's like, I'm going to put out a missing person.
Yeah, or maybe
she's
her
not.
mom just misunderstood when she was getting back.
It's a
But-
drastic thing. That's a drastic thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So I ran into a friend of the show, Maggie, our downstairs neighbor, Maggie Maloney, yesterday, and she told me that like 2 years ago, Becca ran away from home, and that's she said she was going to work on a weed farm and all this. But I have since found out that is not true. That is not what happened.
That's defunct.
A lot of rumors going
Perhaps
around.
Maggie read that
A lot of
somewhere, but
falsities.
that version of the story is not accurate. That version is she's not estranged from her mom. She didn't run away from home. She was going on The Bachelor. She told her mother instead of going on The Bachelor, she was going to work on a weed farm. She didn't get cell service, so her mom called her as a missing person because she couldn't get a hold of her for so long. That is the story. That is what happened. Because they even I talked to our friend Nicole Passmore, is an improviser here and big Bachelor fan. She runs an improv show here called The One up at Bad Dog Theater if you're in Toronto.
And he's going to be in it on February 14th.
That's right. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to be in that one, but we'll see. Anyways, Nicole was the one who told me about that, like the real version of the story, and then I've since confirmed it by actually reading the many articles about it that are online.
Nice work.
So a little with the teeniest bit of detective work, the full story comes out.
To me, the takeaway to that is just you remember how young she is, that her mom is worried about her location.
But not that she's going to work on a weed farm.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, what a funny
What a
thing
weird lie.
to tell. Why not go say you're tree planting? Because you really don't get service when you're like
Technically,
out in the mountains.
You are
Like,
planting them trees.
You are planting them trees, but like, I guess her family's like really cool then. Like, now I think of her mom totally differently. I think of her like as a really caring, very cool mom. And she's like, Mom, I'm going to a weed farm. And Mom's like, sick. Just make sure you call me.
Yeah.
And then she didn't. And she's like, oh my God, my daughter's on a weed farm. Probably got attacked. I love her so much. I should check up on her, and I can't. So the police need to help her.
And apparently, at some point on the show, I think I missed this, but Nicole told me this. They joked about this on the air. They talked about it.
Oh, geez, I missed that.
I
too,
totally missed that. If that's true, that part is unsubstantiated. I don't.
No, because I think it happened at the end of shooting, so we wouldn't.
No.
Yet.
They joked about Becca told Ari that I didn't tell my mom I was going on The Bachelor. I told her I was going to work on a weed farm.
Oh,
Apparently
Why did she not
that
tell her mom?
happened. I guess she was worried about her mom's reaction. I don't know.
and I mean, a lot of people sure, a lot of them assume they're going to be gone after, like, I'm not going to make it. And then you get there, you're like, oh shit, I'm like the top seed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
yeah.
actually I might have mentioned that in an article I read a while ago when they were talking about the dress selection and how you use all your good ones early because you don't know how long you're going to be around for. You just can't picture yourself becoming that like number one draw. So that could be it.
And then
Yeah.
you have people like Crystal who are obviously on the show to be the Bachelorette or to marry him to be famous, and she thinks she's by far. I mean, we're going to get into it for sure.
Oh God!
What
Crystal.
an interesting time.
Our predictions were right. Although it wasn't that hard. If you're any kind of a Bachelor fan, that there was going to be a 2-on-1 and it would involve Crystal. That's sort of the villain's story on this show. And that was just one small part of a jam-packed episode where I was sure that this would be the one where they wouldn't have a rose ceremony at the end. I was like,
Me too.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Me too.
Like, we had a good run, but they're packing 4 dates in here. It's fine, whatever. We don't get a rose ceremony. There's even a 2-on-1. There's probably going to be a cliffhanger. But it was a complete episode. We got everything. It was like, well done, Bachelor team.
Well done. They're bringing
Well
it
done.
back strong with this season. Definitely.
I'm
They're
more
really...
satisfied.
Yep.
Every episode, so
too.
satisfied. I mean, there's enough drama, and they're not even like in past seasons they would really focus on the drama, but they're just doing it a perfect amount. I feel this season.
Yeah, they're striking a
it's
good
much
balance.
better. Yeah.
If I mean, Ari's a turd. I really not liking Ari one bit, but I think that's part of it. I mean, how many of these people have you come across, been like, oh, I love this person, I want to be their friend, besides like
Yeah.
Charlene or Shape Joint that we were
Caitlin?
talking about earlier. Caitlin too. The Canadians, all the
Caitlin.
Canadians.
JoJo,
They're all great.
I like JoJo. I'd be
JoJo.
friends with
JoJo's all
Yeah,
right.
Bachelorettes seem to be a little more personable. I don't know.
Yeah,
what it is.
the dudes, I don't know.
They're
Yeah, I don't know.
just boring.
boring.
I like Sean. I'd be friends with Sean.
Yeah, Sean's all right. I got no
He's
problems
funny.
with Sean.
He's funny.
Um,
He makes fun jokes.
Ari though, yuck. He just
Yeah.
he doesn't get any better week by week, and he was really touchy this time.
Yeah.
Like his moves are becoming apparent. When they're sitting down, he does the thigh touch, and then when they're kissing, he does the head hold, move down to neck touch, which transitions into a tit touch that he's trying to hold himself from doing. You can see if you look at his makeouts, his hand moves down continually, and he just stops himself. Or they cut, and we don't see it. But I guarantee he's touched one boob. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
touched. Yeah, he's gotten in
I
there.
wonder if it's like there's a competition with, I bet there's always weird things where it's like, how many times can you touch your boob?
Oh yeah, probably.
Or
And that would be
boob.
a cool way for a producer to be like, hey, Sean touched 2 butts in 2 weeks. Can you beat that? You know what I mean?
How
Maybe a
slimy.
Little incentivized. Yeah, real gross. But that's
bet
what the show's all about.
I bet that's what Ashley saw. Remember when she's like, they're all betting on us and stuff? I bet she saw stuff like that. Like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
bound to have like weird tallies and stuff back
Definitely.
in the like crew pit. Of
Yeah,
what's
like,
going on. You gotta.
You got
you gotta-
records.
Yeah. Like you gotta figure out what you're gonna do, and I bet they have stuff written everywhere. It's like backstage at Second City. We have little tallies of people screwing up and doing things, and it's
There
the
we
same
go.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Same sort of thing. Well, let's get into this week's date action because there were 4 dates. We got a lot to talk about. And in the coming weeks, we're going to have a ton to talk about because the winter games start, which
True.
I don't know. These are going to be some mega size episodes or something, or we'll just breeze through a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, like we'll probably do today. One thing that doesn't really matter to me, date number 1 with Lauren B, because I think Lauren B is really bland.
Yeah.
Lauren
She's-
Bland.
I think she's not letting herself have a good time because she's
Certainly
just
seems that way.
too worried. Like to see her talk at the end, I've never seen someone to that degree not understand the show she's on.
Yeah.
Like to be like, but I just can't. Like she's not even happy that she got a rose, and it's like, well, you're not. He's not going to just choose you right now. It's just not. Also, you haven't known each other that long. Like for a myriad of reasons, you're not anyway. But also because that's not how the show works at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm just kind of. She's very boring now.
Yeah, and this the way this date started, I thought she was headed to Le Dump. Like they went to these very standard Parisian touristy places like Notre Dame and outdoor markets where no conversation was happening whatsoever. And then it wasn't until they got down to dinner and Ari had sort of told the story of his relationship where it was the deepest thing Ari said so far, where he revealed that he had a girlfriend who had had a miscarriage, and then she dumped him right after. It was pretty deep. Then Lauren could have countered with something good, and I guess she did. She talked about her parents' divorce, or not divorce, but difficult marriage. and her fiance dumping her, I guess. So that was kind of big. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't get
know.
how do you walk around Paris? You walk around. They were up around like Notre Dame. They were around the Louvre.
All the hot spots.
They were like all those crazy gardens. How were they not talking about all that stuff? There's a bunch of crazy, cool shit around there.
Yeah, I watched this.
It's
thing
unreal.
on Ellen. Ellen has like a little recap with people, like her crew people, and they were apparently they just kept saying "wow, wow, wow."
And yeah, this is so pretty.
Yeah,
So
wow,
beautiful.
wow is what they kept saying. Like that. There's a statue. There's a statue.
Looking at the Notre Dame, is this for us? No.
No, this is not for you. This has been here for a very long time.
Very long time.
Ours, like, there's see that cheese? There's like a lot of cheese in this city.
They got a lot of
Wow.
cheese here, right?
Great.
Wow.
It was bad. It was brutal. I really thought she was gonna get her get no rose.
I did too, but then the dinner saved it. The dinner saved it for them both. Where what you said, where he opened up and then she managed to open up a little bit as well, and that's all you have to do is open up just a tiny bit.
I want to know though the actual story that happened with him in that miscarriage story, because I doubt he was like all prepared to be a dad and like ready to go, and then I bet he was being a dick about it, and she's like, well, I lost the baby, let's not be together because you're a dick. I mean, that's a lot to assume.
That is a lot to assume. That is a lot.
He was willing to be a father to little Ricky.
You're right. I just don't like him. He seems skeezy.
I don't like him either.
I always assume he does skeezy things. So I think.
And that the woman already had 2 kids, so like he I don't know.
That's
I don't know
true.
how serious it was, but yeah, I mean, his story really overshadowed Lauren's. Not that hers is any less valid, but his was a little more deep in terms of, I guess, I mean, a fiance dumping is pretty big, I guess. And then she said how now she feels friend zoned, or she tends to friend zone people. Her relationships after that, which would explain why she's acting so tight around Ari. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just she's naturally bland, and that's it. That's all. But even after revealing that, she didn't seem like she was opening up that much.
Yeah.
Like she opened up but didn't open up. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't get this relationship because he has such a spark with actually a lot of them that I'm just like, what is this one? This one, and it's so boring to watch them, and it's not as boring to watch them with other people. So
Yeah, all he kept saying was how he's super attracted to her, which there you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ari's leading with his dick on this one, which has been quite clear the whole time. And it's, that's I don't know. That's why I think that's my biggest issue with it. He doesn't seem to genuinely want to get to know these people.
Yeah, it's like he even there was what date was it? What was there was that really bad date. It was the other Lauren. He didn't say anything also though, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
There's a give and take here, man. Like you have to try and get to know them as well. You can't just be like sitting back, just being like, these fucking girls are gonna talk to me. They're gonna tell me everything they know, or they're out of here. You know, like you can't do it like that. You're trying. If you're legit about this, you're trying to share as much as yourself as they are trying to share of themselves.
Yeah, and even with his Lauren B date, he was just saying, "This is pretty. This is nice." I mean, you gotta work at it a bit. I don't know. It was bad. And this next group date, this kind of solidifies what I'm talking about. Like, finally, it was a date that wasn't like monster trucks and dirt bikes. And then he had the audacity to say, like, I think this date will be really good for the women having an opportunity to like do this dancing thing. Meanwhile, they're basically just parading in front of them in
bikinis.
Costumes.
Yeah,
it was gross. It was gross. It was, and they looked so uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Andy, I was like, whoa, I would be very uncomfortable in this. Just strutting in basically like the smallest bikinis, uncomfortable bikinis because they're made out of weird wires and shit.
Yeah.
And just like walking and like, I was appalled.
It was bad. The fact that he said that it was like for them was
that's
I know
stupid.
I know a lot of people love Moulin Rouge, and that's a very romantic setting and stuff. But if that's the case, just like take them for a backstage tour and let them see the show. Do they really need to like be paraded in front of them? I don't know. And seeing Becca, like, she's so young, getting into that. I don't know. I mean, I know she's still a woman. I know.
Yeah.
I don't like
Still,
Moulin Rouge. I don't like any of that
I
stuff.
hate Moulin Rouge. I hate that movie.
I hate that
Moulin Rouge
movie. I
movies
fast
all time.
forwarded part of it because I didn't want to. I was sick of the singing.
Me too. I
like
hate
Ewan
bad
McGregor in
films.
it. I don't like the guy who like owns the Moulin Rouge. He's too much. As the kids say, extra. I felt him too extra. But the Elephant Love Medley is huge, and I knew it forever, and I loved it so much. Like so many different songs, and they're singing on an elephant. It's pretty sick.
The only part I liked about that is that there's a Kiss song in there. They threw in "I Was Made for Loving You" briefly.
I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me.
Yeah.
The only way of loving me, baby, is to pay a lovely fee. Just
That's
one
not
night,
part of the song.
Just one
They
night.
bastardize all these
You
songs.
give him the name of love. One night in the name of love. You crazy fool. I will don't leave
Hate
me.
it.
Away. I can't survive. I don't know the rest. But
Yeah.
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Good
pretty
job.
I
Yeah.
thought you were making it up, and then it was like, no, I think
No,
this is it.
that's it. That's what it is.
Can I sing at all? Not at all. But I do like to do it.
Yeah.
So,
The other weird part about this date was like them parading around in their costumes had no bearing on whether anyone got a rose, which I don't know was a reaction to the bowling date or because he didn't want to be like, I'm just going to choose who I thought strutted the stuff the best. Because he was like, whoever I have a good convo with at the cocktail party thing will get a walk-on role on Moulin Rouge with me.
yeah, I actually didn't like that he said that because I guess he was trying to be like, not because your bodies or whatever. So I guess that's good. But like, if I was one of the other ones, I was like, oh, I guess he's way more connected to her. So why? Because he's like, it's because it'll be because of my connection.
Straight connection, yeah.
And it's like a straight, like verbal, like affirmation of like, oh, I'm more connected to Becca, just so everyone knows that. Like,
Yeah.
It's so I was like, oh, well then, why did I do that even more so?
I mean,
now?
but
Like,
that's the show, though, man. Like, you whatever. It's a competition.
but
It's a
I'm just
competition to see who has the best connection with them. So why not start to measure that at some point? It's either that or this was just literally like a bikini competition, and that's it. So like, I guess so to me, like that's fine, right?
Both sides. I see both sides.
And then
I
it wasn't even the winner gets the
emotional-
rose. It was still after that. So like, but it was still Becca still got the rose though, right?
No, it was whoever got the rose would get the role.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I get it. I just think emotionally, it would have this would affect me more than just somebody being like at the end of that, like, oh, Becca's gonna come and be on the rest of the date with me because Becca also had the biggest, like, the best time with it, so she made sense in that sense. Me. So, but to tell all the ladies that you had a bigger connection, it just, when you're this far along, I think it would affect them a little more to be like, okay, all right.
And they didn't even show him, I think it was at this part, maybe it was because they had so many dates, but they didn't even show conversations with all the girls. Like, I wanted to see that part so I could be like, well, it should be her who gets the rose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, poor Jenna didn't get shit.
Jenna didn't get anything any episode. She barely has been shown on the show. And like, they must be talking at some point, right? Like, they must have had some conversations.
Yeah.
Jacqueline was the same thing, but then he went on this one-on-one later. But I never saw him talk to her really. Like, there was like a couple snippets. So I was even surprised that she was on a date because I thought she'd just get in a group date and kicked off. I think they would end up where they ended up this episode. But she reminds me of Jenna a lot.
Ugh, Jenna. Yeah. Bad.
Jenna looks like a hoot. She looks like a fun.
Yeah.
She has fun with everything. Like, she's always has a positive attitude, and
she didn't even get screen time. Like, did we even see her dance? I don't even remember.
I remember seeing her come out, and she looked. I remember thinking that for some reason, the way her face looks, like, it's so like, if you just took away her face, which you do in those Moulin Rouge things, so it's just like the person's face and just like their huge forehead. It's everything about her face is so like sharp and like harsh.
Yeah.
So she looks like a typical like Moulin Rouge, like Vegas style
fits the role,
showgirl.
yeah.
And she really looked good as that type. She really looked like that was her job. Like that, she looked like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
she has a very Marilyn Monroe-y type, old school, like.
She's got a vampy
kind of
look.
thing.
Pinup-y.
Yeah,
like
pinup-y,
she has
yeah.
she's not so thin and long because she seems like she's obviously thin, but she's like, I don't know, she's sexy, she's curvy.
Yeah.
I really liked her. I'm surprised there wasn't a big. I think she's a bit wild. It seems when she gets drunk, she's a bit wild. So that maybe was part of the why they didn't connect as much.
Speaking of looking good, Liv mentioned that Becca, you saw her in that blonde wig. Liv was looking at her, I guess, Instagram and stuff, and how she can wear any hairstyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everybody's been. There's like a big post from Flair or something magazine being like, "Look at Becca, she can wear any hair."
Yeah,
look
which
at her
is
Instagram.
huge. Yeah, it's an advantageous quality to have, especially when you're on the show and frequently donning wigs for silly dates. So that's worth mentioning, and it is worth also mentioning that Ari again completely phoned in his part of this date. He didn't lip sync well at all, mind you. It was in French, but he might as well just be like encased in a glass room watching them on a security camera during these things. You know what I mean? Like he's not engaged in anything.
I did love the drama of all of the women watching them. Oh, what great TV.
They hated it.
They were pissed.
They hated that so much.
And Becca's so natural at that. Like she's got that stage smile of like no matter how she's feeling, she looks like she's having fun up there. And that was like daggers, man, daggers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've never seen. I tweeted that like never before has there been this many unhappy women at Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
They just hated every second of it. It was so good.
Which should be a bucket list fulfilling once in a lifetime thing. It's just they have bad memories of the red windmill the rest of their life.
Because their experience was putting on uncomfortable, very revealing clothing, parading in front of a guy, and then being turned down and have to watch the woman who won. Like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like you have to watch your boyfriend go on a date in the most romantic place in the world
like,
or something.
Being like very openly like, gross. It's gross.
Yeah. Very gross.
But good TV.
Yeah, good TV. They the two made out in front of the windmill, and Ari said that he's falling for Becca. So again, Becca flipped it. She's been flipping it all fucking season long. She's got the advantage, and I don't know. I think she's gonna factor into this finale big time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all held back from reading the reality Steve spoiler, but I imagine it has something to do with Becca.
Yeah,
it could,
and who's this guy connected to? Is it Tia? Is it someone else? And he just has this thick accent.
Yeah.
Because like you got to think it's Tia, but that's what they want us to think. Obviously.
Yeah,
there's no guarantee it's Tia, I suppose, but I think the odds are with that. And let's talk about Tia just for 2 seconds. She was not into this challenge either. She wasn't really into the Moulin Rouge thing.
She never is into anything. She doesn't want to have fun.
Just give over to it, man. Go have a blast. Go I get it that it's like it's not your thing. You're uncomfortable, but like you're uncomfortable with everything? What is it? What do you like?
The dancing part was fun. The dancing part was just like learning simple choreography.
Yeah, that part,
and she was like, "Nope, not doing it." And I was like, "What?"
She was expressing that she like didn't know that part. She's like, "Okay, I got it up to here, but then nope. It's like, stop saying no and just do it. Like, just try and do it and have fun."
I'm a horrible dancer. I'm horrible at getting choreography, but when you're doing that, the worst thing you can do is be like, "Oh, I'm so bad at this."
Yeah,
just do it and look stupid.
Just try hard.
Everyone,
yeah.
Glenn, you did an incredible dancing job on Dance with the Comedians when we all learned to dance from Jillian. Like, guys, I got to tell you, Andy and I like to dance. I have realized recently that I'm not as good of a dancer as I thought I was. It was a big realization in my life, but I think I'm better than Glenn and Andy on a regular basis. Maybe.
I mean, we'll see. We don't know.
The jury's out on that. When I freestyle, I'm real good. That's what
I meant choreographed dance. But anyways, these guys killed it. They killed it. They were very good.
Yeah, we had a full.
And they never really. And Tia, they gave into it, and the audience went nuts.
Exactly. They love it.
So, and all of us were falling. It was hard dancing that she was teaching
Really
us.
hard.
None of us, we're all soft bodies moving to like this Britney Spears song.
Yeah,
but
whenever I hear "Work Bitch" by Britney Spears, I just want to
Yeah.
do that weird stanky leg move that we all
Stanky
learned.
leg.
I could not do the stanky leg. I just couldn't
Oh.
do it.
Stanky leg
I
is
do it all the
tough.
time now. Stanky leg is, but that's the thing. I can do it, guys. I can do a stanky leg.
You can do a
Yeah.
stanky leg. That is true. I'll confirm that. You've done some stanky legs and they're good.
You know who I think, this is a quick rewind. You know who I think the fiance might be is Lauren B, because she talked about a fiance, remember?
Oh, yeah.
That might be a clue.
Is it a fiance? Do we know this?
Yeah, because I think they mentioned that in the preview, like, that's my fiance or something like that.
That's my
I'm pretty
girl.
sure-
He
He
says
says
that's
that's
my
my girl.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to go back but whatever.
Maybe,
I'm
maybe
just-
it's somewhere in there. Maybe it's somewhere.
To
in
me,
there.
for thought.
not only his accent, but like barging on the Bachelor and be like, "I want my girl." That just like screams Gary's Dresses to me. Like that's
yeah,
just
Wiener, Arkansas.
Yeah.
that's like one of the stock boys from the back room at Gary's Dresses
Yeah.
coming out, just being like, "I
Maybe-
gotta get my girl Tia."
Maybe he was trapped under like a box of slats, and he finally got out, and then he was like, "I got out of the slats. I gotta
Yeah.
find my girl, Tia.
Tia, you went
Gary-
on this show without me.
You went on this show.
Gary-
You trapped me under slats, and then you went on this show."
Gary had him sanding the new floor for a month straight. Can I leave now?
Can I leave now?
Yeah, hell, all right.
Oh hell,
I'm high
you
on
can
the
get it.
fumes.
Go on and
I'm
get
high
out of
on
here
the
now.
fumes.
Go on, get.
Gary, will you give me some change for the bus? No, get out of here.
Go on now, get.
Out of here.
Get.
Go on now. Ugh.
Throwing slats at him as he runs away.
Throwing dresses at him.
Throwing dresses. And like, oh guys, I gotta say, I'm sorry, but Gary's dresses, gray suede, brutal shoe selection. Like
Oh,
there's
I don't doubt it.
they're always like, got the new shoes in, and I'm like, they're no name like stuff you would buy at the Canadian brand Ardennes.
Ardeen. Ardeen.
Ardennes.
Yeah, I think
whatever.
you're right. It is
Cool.
Ardennes.
I call it Ardennes. I think it is Ardennes. Though.
I think it is
But
Ardennes.
Ardennes has like the worst shoes for $5. But gray suede is the same ones. I think like the actual same ones for like $50.
I'll get these here shipped down from this fancy French Canadian store called Ardennes.
Ardennes has the best shoes, and we'll charge $60 for them.
Ardeen sounds like it could be the name of Gary's ex, like third wife.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was married to a woman named Ardeen once.
Yeah. She took all my shoes.
She took half my old slats. I had to build new
Yeah.
ones.
She has a store called Ardennes. You know, I started that store. I started that
I
store.
started
in
that store.
Canada.
That's my store. That's Gary's Dresses Canadian version up there.
And I will say, there are a lot of slats at Ardennes. Funnily enough.
Maybe Gary's Dresses is Ardennes have this
guys.
link.
Conspiracy
Ardennes
theory.
Slat.
There's something
Always-
there. Definitely
Oh.
something there.
Definitely something there.
Let's fast forward to the 2-on-1. This was huge. It got buried in a lot of other good stuff, which again, one of the reasons I love this episode. This should have been the focal point, and I suppose it was. But in terms of 2-on-1s, it was pretty good. Not quite as awkward as past ones, I'd say. Although the hedge maze was a little weird.
So funny.
The
I
hedge
thought,
maze was
again, good
dumb.
television.
Yeah.
Very good television.
Go find him through a maze. Like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Is this
And then
Harry Potter? Come
Still
on.
winning, like
Yeah.
I won, and then them making out cut to Kendall being like, "Hello."
Yeah. True.
He's like,
Good.
I'm back at the beginning. I'm back at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good
so-
TV there.
yeah.
Yeah.
They hit up 17th century chateau. I'm glad it wasn't just like a field in the middle of nowhere. That was nice.
Yeah.
And in classic fashion, they each had a conversation with Ari. But in not classic fashion, he decided he was like, that wasn't enough. So then they went to had like they didn't show those conversations either at all. He was
I
like, I
like
need to
that.
talk. And yeah, I mean, it was good for the sake of people who have short attention spans like I do. And then ultimately, we all know what happened. Crystal went home. But yeah, Crystal, she continued her bullshit.
Well, let's
especially
talk about that big conversation that
Well,
they had where I
hate
understand that it was a little patronizing, like it, but I do think Kendall was trying to be as kind as she could be and trying to find the good in Crystal, which I was like, it was funny
love
because I feel like Kendall is what Crystal claims to be. She's a spiritual, accepting person that learns from things and tries to find the good in people. And that's what Crystal claims to be, and she's the opposite of that.
And that's how you take down someone like that. You're just like, oh, I feel bad for you. Like and not even like in that kind of way, but just the way she put everything was so perfect. Like, Crystal just speaks in cliches, and she only has stock answers ready for what she thinks how people are going to act. And that coming from Kendall, who's obviously way smarter than she is, it just broke her brain.
Yeah, but I do understand feeling patriotic, but I was like, no, but it's not. Like, she's trying to actually be nice.
Yeah. Of course,
so too.
Of course, if you're in this standoffish, first of all, this standoffish environment, right? You're on a 2-on-1 date. You're competing on the show. You feel like all these people are against you. You're definitely going to feel like that person is like condescending and being an asshole to you. Yeah. But I thought Kendall was being really like real. Me too. Like real, really trying to cut to the heart of her and like actually reach out and like communicate with her, which no one had done. And if she was, no, Crystal's not of the right mind, I feel like Kendall was right. Like she's gone through some crazy shit, and it's ended up with her being the way she is, which is kind of sad, but like, this was if Crystal was capable of realizing it, this is the first person who's really tried to communicate with her on any kind of real level and on the whole show.
Yeah, and
I thought there was going to be a breakthrough. I thought Crystal was going to be like, thank you for seeing what nobody else sees. Like I thought I was hitting her, and then I was like, damn it.
Yeah, and Kendall was like fucking ice cold in a good way, like the outcast kind of ice cold throughout this whole thing. She didn't cave under the pressure once, and even when Ari was like, Crystal said that you're not ready to get married and all that, then Kendall responded with, what was it? I don't think it's about having a time when you're ready for love or not. It's more so finding somebody that brings it out in you. I can see marriage in you. I can see love forever with you. Like, bam, that was a slam dunk.
Yeah, huge.
Like, she could not have performed. This was probably one of the best 2-on-1 performances of all time. Because usually the setup, the narrative is that the villain puts the pressure on the other person to act stupid, and the other person caves and acts dumb. And then, I mean, most of the time the villain doesn't prevail, but they do the odd time. But Kendall just fucking shut it down. Dude.
Yeah, and even when Crystal was like, we had some talks, and I think we actually see the same way on a lot of things. When Kendall had just told her, like, I actually don't think we see, like, aren't a lot alike, but that's okay. But she just went and said that to, like, just really try and bug Kendall. And Kendall just smiled and was like, okay, whatever. Didn't even agree, but didn't disagree. It's good.
This felt like a different Kendall than what we've known. She's just gotten better and better, I think. And I think that's just getting to know her outside of she plays the ukulele and has taxidermy and she's quirky, which is good because those are the parts of her you're like, well, that's what the show wants us to think of her. Now she's just been amazing.
She's the gimmick. She's like the gimmick person on this season, right? The taxidermy stuff. She's like the weirdo. Yeah. And they love having a weirdo. But then it turns out that she's like really smart and it seems like a pretty cool person. So I think that's the reason she's managed to last this long. And she's pulled out moves where like she's on the verge of fading into the background completely, like a Jenna or someone. And she instead, like, on that date with the worms, she, like, pulls him aside. She steps up, when it comes, everyone's fighting with Crystal. Everyone hates Crystal. And you're the person who said something to her. And what you said, like, wasn't, totally amazing or anything. Like, other people said some stuff as well. But then when it comes to the 2-on-1, it's like, okay, this is good. I bet you they set this up because they thought he was going to get rid of Jenna. They thought he would keep Crystal over her. So that, and we'd see those fireworks, and Crystal gets to stay on the show, which the producers, of course, are going to be into. I would have been into, as much as I like Kendall, but no. Instead, Kendall rises to the challenge, and
big time.
Good for her. Good for her, man.
And I like her. I didn't dislike her before, but I did think she was a weirdo, especially when she asked him, would you eat a human being? Um, but I really like her, and I think it makes you think of all those friends that you have that are kind of like a bit odd, but you love them because they're so cool at the same time. They're not just really weird.
Yeah, I love weird people. Those are my people, man. I love
Another
weirdos.
that I would love one of our friends to date. That I would love to have Kendall around.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
To see her with like a good friend and them have a real hoot together.
Until she brings out her ukulele at a party, then it's like
it's over. No thanks.
Or like a stuffed bug or something.
I don't know. The taxidermy thing I don't mind as much. And I will give her credit. It doesn't seem like just a passing hobby. She actually seems pretty into it. So
yeah. I watched her Instagram story the other day, and it was her looking through like a big warehouse of taxidermy, picking out new things.
Here we go. That's her brand now. She's got to continue it.
That's cool.
So, needless to say, she got the rose. We say goodbye to Crystal, who I don't know how she'll be remembered in the pantheon of Bachelor villainesses, but she was fun to watch.
She was. She made the show quite good.
She was. She was.
And I think her exit's the perfect time because I think there's some really strong women left, and it looks like there's some really good drama to come. And I think now that the villain's gone, I mean, you saw it, everyone started popping champagne. Hopefully everyone will loosen up a little more. And usually when the villain's gone, everyone sort of starts taking stock of their relationship for real, and they look around like, oh, these are my friends, but now we're really competing now.
Yeah.
Andy,
yes.
At some point before maybe the next episode, don't take time now, but I want to see in every season when the villain leaves.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what episode, because I feel like it's around now every single season.
Okay, yeah, that wouldn't be that hard. I
think not that hard to look up.
I talked about that before once, and I think it's always around like, well, we'll check. I don't remember if we actually did. I might be
with
talking
like
about
6
that,
people
but
left.
It was like it was around like episode 6 or something. But we should check that out.
Okay.
We will find the data on that. Definitely.
Yeah. It's just because then it's a producer move too.
Oh yeah.
It just would be interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah, and what else will happen is people will start making mistakes because there was so easy to focus on her mistakes.
Yeah.
And you would focus your own anger on her, and they did that for sure.
Right.
So now there's going to be real anger still, and they have nothing to focus it on. So it's going to be a mess. It's going to be great.
Gonna get good, and they're gonna start getting mad at Ari for shit now too.
Oh, let's see it. Please get mad at him for a lot.
I think it's gonna happen big time. But until they were still sort of on cloud 9 at this point, especially Jacqueline, who finally got her first one-on-one because she was involved in the 2-on-1, and it finally gave us an opportunity to meet Jacqueline, who got picked up by Ari in a red sports car, which quickly broke down.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny. Yeah. Did you guys notice the Jurassic Park Jeep in the background while they were waiting for? They had their like a selfie stick with the camera. They're like, "Yeah, see, this date's real." Da, 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 da. In the background, there was one of the Jeeps from Jurassic Park.
I did not notice that. No.
Yeah.
Cool.
Really strange.
Weird.
I imagine it was like they went to the place that rents out cool vehicles, and that was one of them. I don't know. That's my own explanation. Anyway, doesn't matter. They went on this was like a straight up date. They went shopping. Jacqueline got a new dress. That was cool. And then they went to dinner.
Yeah. I didn't like when he said, it just rubbed me the wrong way when he said, I thought you were too smart for me. So it's like, I don't know. It just felt weird. Felt like putting her intelligence into a box when it just shouldn't be. It was weird. Do you want a stupid girl? Is that why? And he's like, so I think I kept my distance. So it's like, why? Because she was smart, and you think everyone else is stupid? Like that's the other thing. Is like, is everyone else dumb? So you're fine with them? What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Rubbed me the wrong way.
Weird, yeah, and because we hadn't known Jacqueline that well, the whole thing it was like, who are these people, kind of thing.
What is this relationship?
Yeah, and then the big reveal, if you could call it that, was that Jacqueline's going for a PhD in chemical psychology, which will take the next 6 years, definitely throwing a wrench into Ari's plans of starting a family.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big. I love it when stuff like this comes up because it's like. Oh, you're doing that? Okay, I can't get rid of you right now, because everyone will be mad at me, but rest assured, next week you'll be gone.
Yeah, she'll be gone next.
No
Yeah,
question. I
right?
think there's no question. There's barely a
no
connection with
hometown.
these two.
No hometown for Jacqueline.
No,
I don't think
no,
so.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Who do we think will go for hometowns?
Well, yeah, I guess we get to pick. Well, we might as well just, let's fast forward to that because we know Crystal's gone, Jenna's gone, and Chelsea. Well, let's just quickly talk about Chelsea because she really, it kind of sucks. I don't know what happened behind the scenes with the producers trying to get her into the show or whatever, but she just fizzled.
Yeah, she fizzled. I
thought she was getting better. I thought she was getting stronger. Actually, I had her going like, once the people had been established, I kind of have thought she was going right to the final 3.
Once I saw them all lined up, I called it. I was like, oh, she's out. Remember, Andy?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I was like, no, man, she just doesn't pop. When you have a Becca and other Becca and like all of those people just pop. They're just very charismatic and and he likes pop.
Yeah.
As we've learned. And she is a lovely woman, it seems like. She just doesn't pop. She just doesn't pop.
Yeah, it's too bad.
She'll be good on something else maybe, but I don't think this was her. She's very sweet.
Do you think she'll go? Do you think she'd go to Paradise? She doesn't. It doesn't feel like she'd be good.
I hope not.
She almost seems too mature for that. Which I would have never said in the first few episodes. But
they sometimes bring duds like this to Paradise because they want like she has a kid. They want her to have like a really nice story or whatever. But I don't care. I don't want to see Chelsea in Paradise, man. Come on, I want to see.
You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of Claire. Not as intense as Claire, but she reminds me of that same like. Claire doesn't have tons of. She's just kind of. She's a bit of white bread. She's a bit of a slice of white bread.
Yeah.
Let's go to the bread scale. On the bread scale for me, she's a piece of like normal. Let's say a Wonder bread, so it's like a good bread. But
it's a pretty good bread. It's a pretty good slice, soft slice.
Famed bread, yeah.
But ultimately, it is white bread.
No butter, no toast.
No butter.
I think Claire and Ari would make a good couple. I think they're both kind of shitty. So I don't know. Like I don't really care about either of them, and I think that would work.
I don't think he likes that much personality.
Yeah, I don't know what he.
I don't know. Honestly, Becca M is a lot of personality.
No, but she's sweet. Claire's not very sweet. Claire's not sweet. He likes a happy person.
Right. I think Becca's got a lot of personality there though, and he likes.
She does. Yeah, I didn't mean it that way, I guess, but I mean it in like he wouldn't want to have any issues at all. Like I don't think he likes
outspoken. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
In like what I don't like, because like Becca doesn't really tell him what she doesn't like. She's just all smiles and big eyes around him all the time.
He hasn't given us any information about what he likes. Truly,
that's barely talk.
So bad.
Yeah.
I hate it. Well, let's try to predict hometowns. I was just looking at who's left.
I also have
I feel like the top 4 is clear. Like I think it's obvious.
I think so too.
Hometowns when you look at it.
I also do have that data we talked about. I do have the data of when the villains were kicked out, and I also have a little segment I want to talk about at the end here. So everyone, if you're listening, stay tuned because we're going to talk about Becca's hair. Okay, but anyways, Karen, hometowns.
Top 4 hometowns.
Hometowns.
To me, it's got to be Becca,
Tia,
and Kendall. I think.
Yeah.
So it's 4. It's 4 people for hometowns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who else is there? It's Jacqueline, and who's the other person?
Lauren B and Cien.
I think it's Becca, Kendall, Tia.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
I think it's got to be.
And the only switch out is Kendall or Lauren B. Those are the only 2 I could see, but those 3 I think are in stone. Or he realizes this is the time to cut Becca because she's too young. That might happen. Like
possible.
It might be uncomfortable for him if he knows at this point. I definitely won't pick her because she's too young. I definitely don't want to meet her family because I'm so much older than her.
Or he'll test the waters at hometowns, and then he'll get rid of her, knowing
true.
like his family, her family doesn't really get into it, and there's a lot of pressure for me to have sex with her in the next week, which I don't really want to. It's kind of icky. So yeah.
The only for sure's for me are Becca, the other Becca. What's her initial? Becca K and Tia. Those are the 2 I think will for sure have home dates. And then the other ones are a little, I think it could be, I don't think Cien and him really have a connection. or they're just not showing us much of it. So that could be a surprise.
Yeah, I don't think CN's gonna.
Bachelor Nation loves CN, and rightfully so. She seems very, very
She's
cool.
CN's awesome.
Let's get her with someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's.
Ooh, I was saying that Crystal and Chad should get together. They're
Yeah.
both like
Yeah.
They're very
both
perfect for each other.
they're both beefcakes that are shit, and like I just think they would have a hoot. I
Yeah.
really do. I'd be happy for them. In fact.
I think that is a good pair.
Yeah, I think so too. Let us not forget that Lauren B. This was sort of tagged on right at the end, but she had a bit of a mini breakdown and could not stand to see the date with Jacqueline. So
Yeah, because she
she's
doesn't understand how the game works. And it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
yeah, big time.
I think he's got something for Lauren B, though. I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah,
if
that's
that
what I'm saying,
switches when, and like maybe Kendall doesn't get the hometown and instead it's Lauren B. That's what I would think. That's my.
Or we don't get a Tia for some reason, and it's Becca and Becca.
I think Tia goes far. I think she goes pretty far.
I think she goes far too. I think she gets to the sunny weather.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, cool. Let's talk about this data. I mean, we don't have to wait a whole week to get this data.
No, let's do it.
Here on the
Let's get
Bachelor
that
Pod,
data.
the number one independent Canadian Bachelor podcast, we get that data up to the minute.
Also,
Right now,
the
baby.
number one Bachelor podcast ever, and the only one.
Right, the
So
only one
let's
after the apocalypse, we're the only one standing.
Yeah.
So I took a look back at the back to Bachelor season 15, which is not Sean, Brad Womack picking Emily.
Womack.
So this season we had our villain Crystal go out in week 6.
Okay.
In the previous season, we had Nick. I think we would argue that Corinne was the
Yeah.
villain here. She went out in week 8.
Ooh.
So
interesting.
pretty late for a villain there. That's only like.
But she wasn't as much.
Then there's
of a
week
villain.
9,
She
and
wasn't.
then there's the final, right? So she lasted pretty long.
She lasted after her.
In Bachelor season 20, we had that was Ben Higgins. I think Olivia would be considered the villain there.
Yeah.
Olivia Caridi, and she went out week 6 as well. After that, we had Chris Soules' season, Bachelor 19. Kelsey was probably the villain there.
Yeah.
They painted her as a pretty good villain.
Oh, a bit. But
who
Britt
else?
was also a bit of a villain.
I don't know if Britt was less of a villain to me and just more of like a mess. Like Kelsey was the
wasn't
one who
really
was
a villain.
talking shit all the time, and she was on the 2-on-1. Like,
I don't even
I actually-
remember her.
I don't know who she.
you remember when Kelsey and Ashley I got left on the bed in the desert in the 2-on-1?
Oh yeah.
And Kelsey.
Oh yes, Kelsey. Yes, you're right.
Kelsey was always.
So week
Kelsey
6?
was the one whose like husband died and she was lying about something. Remember?
Yeah.
She's a villain.
Yes.
Week 6 again. Also. Then we have Bachelor 18, which is Juan Pablo. Now I don't know who the villain in this season is because I didn't watch this. Do you guys remember who it was?
If I looked at the names, I might be able to.
I'll tell you who went out in week 6: Kat Hurd and Cassandra Ferguson.
Fuck, I don't remember.
I don't recognize any of the other names even
Yeah,
from this.
jury's out on that one.
So someone in Bachelor Nation, let us know. We have obviously
Yeah, I forget it.
notable names. Charlene Joint went week 7. She quit. And then we had Claire Crawley was at the end. Andy Dorfman was week 9. She also quit. He had some late quits in his season. No wonder. What a piece of shit. Okay, so and then we had what's this one? Who's this? I don't know.
Okay, I think we're.
I don't know. Anyways, this one. Oh, whoever's. Oh, Catherine. Oh, this is Sean. Sean's villain was Tierra, right?
Yes.
So Tierra went out week 7. So only 1 week after the week. It seems like week 6 is a popular
it seems
week.
like week
Yeah.
6 is what they'll. Because you know what? In JoJo's season, Chad stayed till the 2-on-1, which is week 6, I think. I think 2-on-1's always.
I didn't
week
look at
6.
Bachelorettes, but I can do that too. Courtney, of course, won Ben's season, so she's an anomaly there. And then I also looked at Brad Womack's season, and I can't remember who the villain was. I think it was Lisa, maybe.
That was
Jackie?
what's her name? Wasn't it Michelle Money?
Oh, Michelle Money. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was Michelle Money, and she went out week 7.
There we go.
So
Okay.
So it
6 or
looks like
7,
they-
it seems like, is when they get the
Yeah.
villains out. Yeah.
They want them at least till that point, which
Yeah.
makes sense. You want
Yeah,
them
that makes
to, yeah. Cool. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, no
But,
problem.
we got to talk about Becca's hair. What's,
Yeah,
what's
okay,
the-
so
what's
guys,
the
What's the
feature?
thing?
So you can do this along with us at home as well, or if you watch it on YouTube, you don't have to do anything because you'll just see the villains. I'll just see the pictures. But Glenn and Sarah, if you want to go to that Flair article, it's
Okay.
it's just
Okay.
quickly just type into Google Flair and Becca M, Bekah and it should be the first thing that comes up. Or if you want the exact address, it's flair.com/bachelor/Becca-m-hair/image.
Am I wrong about that? No. I'm thinking about something else. Anyway.
Okay, so
Okay, never mind. I got it.
great. I'm just gonna put it up on there. There we go. So the first one we have here is Becca M. She got the chin length bob. She's eating ice cream. What do you guys think of this look? I love it. I think she looks super cute.
It's crazy. She looks so different, but in a good way too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it works. It works great. It's
Makes-
casual.
Makes her look very
Great,
young.
casual.
Guys, did you mute me completely during that?
What?
I don't know what's going on. No, everything. I can't look at the website, so I can't do this.
Oh, why can't you look at the website?
My internet went crazy as soon as I opened it.
Oh.
And didn't you guys notice I wasn't talking or wasn't there?
Oh, well, I thought you were just being quiet. Well, Glenn and I will do it. So
Okay.
then we
Let me
have
try.
a flapper.
Let me try
Yeah,
again.
go ahead. Next is the flapper one where it's like she's got this like
It's like a bangs.
Yeah,
with a short bob.
with a bob.
I love it. I think it looks great. She looks like an old starlet from the Roaring 20s.
There you go. Next one we have here is she's got braids, long braids.
Interesting. A little more nouveau, a little more modern. Again, it does work for her. It looks like her hair was really long at that point.
Yeah, interesting. You don't see a lot of this look from her. So this is all from her Instagram also. So you can also probably
Not
just
my
see it.
preferred look on her, but it still works.
No,
Okay, so what are we doing here? I'm on the page.
we're on image
So
4
we're
now.
on-
We're on image 4.
So what are we? We're just looking at it.
Yeah, we're just looking.
Okay, great. I like the braids. A bit of appropriation. I don't know.
Blonde is the next one. Slick black blonde.
Don't love her as a blonde, but it works.
But man, yeah, they're right. Like she's a true chameleon. Like all these
Yeah.
hairstyles look like they fit her though. Like some people have a weird hairstyle and you're just like, that doesn't look right.
She looks older with blonde. She looks older.
She does
with
look
blonde.
older. This silver lob, they call it the fit.
it's a
fifth
part
one.
down the middle, showing some roots there.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
it does work. She the last few have been more of a Kardashian-esque vibe, I'd
Yeah,
say.
super millennial looking.
Yeah, definitely.
I love this look here. Number 6, shoulder
This
length
is
blue
her with
hair.
her brother. This is her brother, her younger teenage brother. I
Cool.
saw that on Instagram recently.
Definitely
yeah, I
looks
like.
her.
Yeah, she looks like a bit like a cool character in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these two look like they're at the center of a like Ghost World-esque movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all this proves that I really think she'll get into acting after this.
Yeah,
like
she-
Colleen from season 1 of Survivor.
Yeah.
Uh,
Becca tried to say that she wasn't a model or anything. She wasn't doing it for that. It's like bullshit. Buddy.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
You're a nanny. That means you're one of
this-
those things. The next one, the
this-
faded mermaid waves. This one
I
looks
don't
cool.
love it.
This is
But,
just that other color faded.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
this.
But this is
Thrown out a
green
little.
though.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah,
I
when
think
it fades
turns
that
it
way,
green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
Next week-
Next one is the same thing except it's grown out. It's grown out roots. Still looks like kind of like she looks like a character from Orphan Black here.
Yeah,
This is
good
the one
call.
that works the least for me, but still fits somehow. And then again, same like platinum color, grown out, but with like an angled bob cut.
Angled bob.
And you
I
can't
dig
see her
it.
face. It could be anybody. It frankly could be anybody.
Looks good,
You
though.
can't
Probably
see
not
her.
her.
Looks good though, crushing a medium pop there from McDonald's.
Or in the States, that's a small, I bet.
It's true. It's
They got different
a
sizes.
small soda. 10 image 10 here. She's just got these like little like twisty fuchsia highlight things.
Bit of a Bjork look.
Yeah, good call,
Yeah.
Bjork. Yeah. It's oh so quiet. Then we got like pink short
I
hair,
like
which
the
also
pink.
looks nice.
The pink looks nice.
She looks
I
like-
And she looks
like-
totally different.
She looks like
Yeah.
she's like an anime character come to life here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good call.
It's crazy. And then you've got the brushed back crop.
That's a little what we're used to.
Yeah, it's close to what
Yeah.
we're seeing these days. And then the last one is the pixie cut, which is what we know and love.
And I think it's the best. I think she's got it.
It looks
suits her,
It,
yeah.
it very much
It's
suits
so
her.
unique.
Yeah,
And
it
if she
is.
does want to become an actress, that's it, man. That is great.
And I
That's,
encourage.
you want to be unique. You want to be.
This ages her in a good way. She looks mature, but not old.
Rock short hair to
right?
do it because it takes. It's
Oh.
so your hair will dry so much faster if you rock short hair. If it works for you, do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good call. Anyways,
Management-wise.
that's it.
That was fun. Yeah, everyone check that
Yeah.
out. Flair magazine.
Yeah. Is anything else happening with anyone? I'm gonna eat a tofu wrap.
I'm quickly cruising the Reddit subreddit here to see if there's any hot news.
There doesn't seem to be
apparently-
any.
Alex keeps liking all of Kendall's Instagram posts. There's a
great.
story about how the restaurant Ari and Jacqueline went to turns into like a raging gay bar at night.
Love it.
Cool.
There's a rumor that Crystal's bus tantrum was about she was ranting on about Peter, and like Peter wouldn't have done this, but I don't believe that. How would they ever?
How would she even know that?
That's stupid.
That's stupid.
Someone got a breast augmentation. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she was talking about.
Oh, like she was saying, oh, I wish Peter was the Bachelor. Like,
Yeah,
something?
I wish Peter
okay.
was the Bachelor. I bet a lot of people had, because they all have auditions at different times. So
Yeah.
she might have auditioned thinking it was going to be Peter.
Yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
then she got Ari. I mean, if I thought it was going to be Peter and I got
That's true.
Ari, I'd be horrified.
Yeah,
it
I'd
is
be
it's a
horrified.
step down. It is a big time step down.
That's a huge step down.
Yeah.
I
And
love Peter.
way more her type. Like built. He's like a fitness instructor. Like there are actually a better match. And then to show up and be like, Mr. Burns? What?
Yeah,
I was
it's
supposed
a-
to get not Troy McClure. Who's the big guy that's in all the movies in it?
Rainier Wolfcastle? No.
Yeah.
Oh, Troy McClure?
Troy McClure.
No, the guy that's like the built guy. That's all the.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rainier
Rainier
Wolfcastle.
Yeah, maybe you think you're gonna get him, and then you get Mr. Burns. Come on.
My eyes, the
Yeah.
goggles do nothing.
Well, next week is going to be nuts because the Bachelor Winter Olympics. Well, they can't use the term Olympics. It's the Bachelor Winter Games hits, and if you're American, you're listening to this, you're going to get to meet some of our Canadian competitors, Benoit and Kevin W. And Kevin W. was featured heavily in the previews this time.
He kisses Ashley
he gets
eye.
to- Yeah.
Kevin
So
W's
that's-
here. Hey guys, how's
Hi.
it going?
I am a firefighter who's in
I'm
love
a
with his mom.
firefighter. Hey, I'm gonna win this thing. I'm gonna kiss some people. Hey, look, a bird. Bye.
Oh wow, he just left. That's crazy.
It wasn't even a bird.
It was not a bird. That was not a bird. That was just a flash of light on the wall, and he just ran away.
He just ran away.
He didn't even go
and his
towards
pants-
the flash of light. Like it was
And
just.
like his pants fell down when he ran away. Like I don't even think he had his pants on right.
Holy
He was
shit.
wearing another pair of pants under his pants.
Yeah, yeah. That had like
What a-
piss all over
What a
them.
fucking mess. He pissed his pants. He pissed his double pants while running away after a bird that wasn't there. What a mess of a person. What a
Oh.
mess of a person.
And then, oh my God, he just fell down.
Oh my God. Okay. We got to go. We've all got to go. But I'll tell you what, we'll see everybody next week. We got a lot.
episode.
Yeah, big episode. Lot to cover next week. Thanks for checking us out again. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
If you want to contact us, you can reach out to us on social media. We're at The Bachelor Pod on Twitter, and individually, we're at Andy Holbone.
At Glenn McCauley.
At Olivia McCauley. At the Sarah Hillier, that's at sign THESARAHHILIER.
If you want to support the show directly, you can go to patreon.com/thebachelorpod and donate there. Otherwise, we're thebachelorpod@gmail.com for an email and thebachelorpod.ca. That's our website.